On a crisp Thursday afternoon, fans of Derrick Rose, one of basketball's most cherished figures, were met with the news that an era was ending. After years of battling through the ups and downs of a professional career filled with triumphs and trials, Rose took to social media to make an emotional announcement. He's retiring from the game he's loved his entire life. In a touching Instagram post, Rose wrote with a vulnerability that was palpable. The message, titled "Thank You, My First Love," resonated with a sentiment that can only be understood by those who have devoted their lives to a passion that shaped their very being. It wasn't just basketball that Rose was saying goodbye to, but a part of himself, a lifelong relationship that had been both rewarding and demanding. "Thank you, my first love," he began, speaking directly to the game that had defined him for more than 2 decades. "You believed in me through the highs and lows, my constant when everything else seemed uncertain. You showed me what love truly meant." In just a few lines, Derrick Rose captured the essence of what basketball had been to him. It wasn't simply a sport or a job or even a means to fame and fortune. It was his foundation, his escape, and his salvation in many ways. From the courts of Chicago, where he first picked up a basketball as a kid, to the grand arenas where he became an NBA MVP, the game had been his refuge. A place where he could be his truest self. "You turned the court into my sanctuary," Rose continued, revealing the depth of his connection to basketball. "A home where I could express myself freely. You made every early morning and late night we spent together worth every drop of sweat." These words painted a vivid picture of the countless hours Rose had spent honing his craft, often alone in empty gyms long before the crowds filled the stands or the cameras started rolling. His relationship with the game was one built on sacrifice and dedication. Through each injury, each heartbreak, and every setback, Rose had returned to the court. Not because he had to, but because he couldn't imagine life without it. As his message continued, Rose's gratitude for the game he loved became even more profound. "You reminded me that I could always rely on you," he wrote, "that in every moment of doubt you would show me what I'm capable of." For fans and followers, this was a reminder of Rose's remarkable journey, the highs and lows, the accolades and adversities. Drafted as the No. 1 overall pick out of Memphis in 2008, Derrick Rose was immediately marked for greatness. He was a hometown hero, playing for the Chicago Bulls, the same team Michael Jordan had once led to greatness. The expectations were astronomical, but Rose embraced them, exceeding even the loftiest hopes. In his rookie year, Rose made an immediate impact, earning Rookie of the Year honors. But it was in 2011, just 3 seasons into his career, when he made history by becoming the youngest player ever to win the NBA MVP award at the age of 22. His explosive speed, unmatched agility, and ability to finish at the rim made him a force on the court, and fans were certain they were witnessing the rise of a future legend. But Rose's story is one that took unexpected and at times tragic turns. Just as he seemed poised to solidify himself as one of the league's greatest, the unthinkable happened. In the 2012 playoffs, Rose tore his ACL in a devastating moment that marked the beginning of a long and arduous battle with injuries that would haunt him for much of his career. For any athlete, suffering a major injury is a nightmare. But for Rose, it was a series of injuries that tested not only his physical abilities but also his mental and emotional fortitude. Over the years, he would endure multiple surgeries, painstaking rehabs, and countless doubts from critics who questioned whether he would ever return to the player he once was. Yet through it all, Derrick Rose remained committed to the game he loved. Despite the setbacks, he continued to fight, not for the fame or the money, but because basketball was still his sanctuary. It was his therapy, his reason to keep pushing forward. And even when the world seemed against him, Rose found solace in the sport that had given him so much. In his retirement post, Rose reflected on the resilience basketball had instilled in him. "You stood by me even when the world seemed against me, unconditionally, waiting for me to pick you up," he wrote. These words carried the weight of someone who had faced adversity head-on and come out stronger on the other side. For those who had followed Rose's journey closely, his gratitude toward the game made perfect sense. He had given everything to basketball, and in return it had shaped him into the man he had become, both on and off the court. The game had given him unimaginable experiences, the joy of playing in front of thousands of fans, the thrill of hitting game-winning shots, and the camaraderie of being part of a team. But it had also tested him in ways that many could never understand. "You gave me a gift," Rose continued, speaking to basketball as if it were a cherished companion. "Our time together, one that I will cherish for the rest of my days." As Rose's words flowed, it was clear that this was not an easy farewell. Basketball had been his life for so long, and saying goodbye was a deeply emotional process. But there was also a sense of peace in his message, a recognition that it was time to move on, to close this chapter and embrace whatever came next. "You told me it's okay to say goodbye," Rose added, reassuring me that you'll always be a part of me, no matter where life takes me. These lines encapsulated the bittersweet nature of Rose's retirement. While he was leaving the game behind, he knew that basketball would forever be ingrained in his heart and soul. The lessons it had taught him, the memories they had shared, would remain with him for the rest of his life. As Rose's post circulated across social media, the outpouring of love and admiration from his peers was immediate. Fellow NBA stars like Kevin Durant and Isaiah Thomas, among many others, took to their own platforms to honor Rose's career and congratulate him on all he had achieved. The respect that Rose commanded in the basketball world was undeniable, and his retirement marked the end of an era for many. Rose's career had been a remarkable journey, one filled with breathtaking highs and heartbreaking lows. From his early days as the phenom out of Memphis to his record-breaking MVP season, to the struggles with injuries that tested his spirit, Derrick Rose's story is one of resilience, determination, and love for the game. Over the course of his career, Rose played for several teams, including his hometown Chicago Bulls, as well as the New York Knicks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Minnesota Timberwolves, Detroit Pistons, and Memphis Grizzlies. At every stop, he left a lasting impact, not just with his play on the court, but with his character and dedication to the game. He finishes his career with averages of 17.4 points, 5.2 assists, and 3.2 rebounds per game. But statistics alone don't tell the full story of Derrick Rose. His legacy is not just in the numbers, but in the passion he brought to the court, the obstacles he overcame, and the way he inspired a generation of players and fans alike. As the basketball world says goodbye to Derrick Rose the player, there is no doubt that his influence will continue to be felt for years to come. His story is one of perseverance, and his message to the game he loved serves as a powerful reminder of the deep connection between athletes and the sports that shape their lives. In his final words to the game that gave him so much, Rose's love letter to basketball stands as a testament to the transformative power of passion, resilience, and dedication. While his time on the court may be over, Derrick Rose's legacy is just beginning. And so, as the basketball world reflects on the career of one of its brightest stars, we are reminded of the words Rose left us with: "You gave me a gift, our time together, one that I will cherish for the rest of my days."